Welcome to the No Faces Comic Chat. I am your host, BUB'S Comics, and with me, as always, I have the amazing, the mind, that this guy, they call him the encyclopedia of comics, and I don't doubt it one bit. He may not know it all, but he'll certainly claim to. We got Roger, a.k.a. Metarog. Welcome.
Greetings, everyone, and thank you, Bub. I never have claimed to be the encyclopedia of anything, by the way.
Well, oh no, and with us, as always, as well, we have the great mind, the analytical mind of all analytical minds. This guy, I'm telling you, he counts his legs before he puts his pants on. DS Comics. Hey. Welcome.
What's up, guys?
Good to have you. And thank you all for being here. We had some early birds here. Connie was here to say hello. We've got Area 51, Mike, joining us from the great frozen and or possibly in fall northwest of them there, Canada. We got Jambo Comics from the northeast or central east of Kentucky. It's all just the middle of nowhere, but we're glad he's here anyway. Thank you all for being us. I'm sure there's more. The chat's slow. Here, Discovery Bay's in the house. Welcome. We got, go ahead, Roger.
Okay, we got Discovery Bay. We got...
No, the one on the screen, man.
The one on the screen. Oh, VV. Oh, okay, hold on. I'm not seeing the screen, so I don't know what you put up there. Hold on. Right. Hey, everyone.
No, good Lord. Say his name.
Oh, Pharangian Vigilante.
That's the one. Woohoo! Thanks, Roger. You're always ready in the clinch, if not just a minute later.
I know this is a show about speedsters, but I'm a little slow today, apparently.
We got Ruben Guzman in the house. Who's else we got? We got Metarog. Connie's still here. Tats Comics showing up, saying, hey, what's going on? He's at the skate park with the kids. They're using him as a human ramp. He just lays on the ground with a folded up ironing board from days of yore. We got BTC Moon Guy. Welcome. And let's see what else we got. DS Comics. We got the Jackson Roy Kirkson evening. And for those of you watching around the world, possibly good morning or good afternoon. Did we mention Bill Comic Mag Musing was in the house? Bill will be excited. I've got a few extra Wonder Woman items for this evening. So I hope he appreciates that. All right. So we have with us today a great, many characters that we're going to be talking about. Look at Tat.
Yeah,
I called that ironing board, didn't I? So we are going to be talking today. Does anybody? Actually, Roger already tipped his hand. He knows exactly who we're talking about. We have with us DS. What's our team name tonight?
Oh, I don't know. The Rambling Racers.
The who?
Rambling Racers.
I think you guessed.
I think actually the Racing Ramblers would have been better, but yeah, Rambling Racers.
Well, once again, I failed to give you homework that you would have undoubtedly failed to do. So
yeah, I thought that counts, Bob.
But if you'd like, you are more than welcome next week to both pick the topic and the team name.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
Wow, we're here out of DS tonight.
All right, well, good deal. Oh man, show us that DS. You got to show us that. What do you got there?
Ooh.
Yeah, well, honestly, I'm just showing this because it is apropos to our category.
Clearly,
these two are going to be on my list of 5 faster than light traveling superheroes, and it's a killer book, and I'm proud to own it. And I posted on Instagram, so it was already out, so not a lot of work to put it up on the stand. So minimal effort, maximum return. There you
I
go.
love it. That if DS was going to run for any kind of public office, that should be his slogan: minimum effort, maximum return. I
Oh
love
yeah,
it.
that's the way to do it, man.
Nothing. You know why? Because that would save us tax money.
It would.
If the
you
government
don't wanna
worked
do anything that
on
would
minimal
do it.
effort and maximum return instead of maximum effort, minimum return, we'd all save a bunch of money.
If it was up to me, I'd cut the government down by like 99%. So
As would I, good sir. As would I. But
taxes
we're
would
not
be
here to talk
dropped.
politics. We'll save it for the after show. Me and DS have a lot of like-minded agreements on how much, actually, how little government should be involved. So, well, we won't worry about that tonight. Let's see. We got V squared. Loved your honest work. Oh, nice, good stuff. All right, guys. We are talking today, Roger. What's our topic tonight, Roger? You know what this is? I know you're ready.
Well, hopefully I'm ready, right? I mean, we're talking about speed, greasy lightning speed.
Grease lightning, ooh, grease lightning. Nice, I love it. And just so we can all just get this out of the way, we all know who the top speedster in the universe is, right? Go ahead, Roger. Roger, tell us who the top speedster is.
Well, obviously this has, there's no doubt. There's no argument, right? There is absolutely no doubt that it is Superman.
Superman? What? Oh!
I was going to go with that bottom tier superhero from Kentucky. What's his name? Speed Hero or
Cannonball
or something?
No, it's not Speedball. It's not Speedball. It's not doing coke. Although there was a coke hero, wasn't there? What was his name?
There was, yeah. There was in DC had one, yeah.
You guys, one of you guys got to say who the real fastest man alive is. Let's hear it.
Superman.
No, Roger, your turn.
I already opined.
Okay, who's the second fastest man alive then?
Nova.
Second fastest man alive.
Richard Rider.
Oh, goodness gracious. Wasn't he one of the Novas?
Yeah.
Carol Danvers.
Carol Danvers?
Yeah, she
man.
harnesses the power of a star. She's
You guys are killing me.
Travels faster than light, too.
All right, I give up. You guys stink.
Silver Surfer.
No, it's not Silver Surfer. All right. If you had to pick the fastest DC hero that wasn't Superman or anyone else and is potentially featured on 2 covers in our grand array, who would it be?
Quicksilver.
No, he's not on 2 covers.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the Flash.
Hey, there it is.
That's what he was waiting for right there.
I know. He wasn't going to let us off the hook because he had that ready to go, and he just wanted us to. He's been dying to press that button.
He was dying. He was dying there.
I've been dying to press that button since I was 14.
Oh, man.
Oh, there you go. You're welcome. That one was free, everybody. Norrin Rad. Listen at you guys. You're terrible.
Norrin Rad is fast. He's got that cosmic force or whatever it's called. Yeah, he can travel faster than the speed of light. I don't think Flash travels faster than the speed of light.
Isn't that why he has lightning bolts? Because he's breaking light?
I don't know.
I thought that's what it was.
I'm not an expert on Flash, but perhaps we can delve into how fast he is. He's not faster than Superman, but they seem to have a tie when they race. So they're pretty close. So I don't know. Flash is pretty quick, I guess.
Look at Jackson Roy Kirk. What a trooper. He would have said it Flash a long time ago if he had only known.
I was just making my list of, I was like, all right, so who travels faster than the speed of light? And I made a quick list of 5. These 2 are both on that list. And then Nova and Captain Marvel.
Wait, slow down. It's a long show, DS. It's a long show.
5 out there.
Look, he's I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna get my 5 out there. I'm taking a nap, crack another cold one, and all right. Start with your first or your 5th one, rather.
All right,
and explain yourself, good sir.
So Thor, when he throws his hammer and holds onto it, he can travel really fast, and he can surpass the speed of light. He also has those two. I can never remember the name of them. The two animals, the goats or whatever, that pull his.
Oh yeah.
What's
Nash.
They both start with N. Yeah, I can never remember the name.
Or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's got those two, and so he can go faster than the speed of light. And then Silver Surfer also as well can go faster than the speed of light. I guess he used to be an astronomer on a different planet and became a herald to save this planet and was imbued with all these powers. Whatever the power that he got is called the cosmic force or something, or I can't remember the name of
What is the power he has?
Well, he
controls the power cosmic.
The power cosmic. Yeah, so with that, he's able to travel on his board faster than the speed of light as well. So these two are both eclipse the speed of light, so I thought that was an appropriate book. He does it with the board, and he does it usually with his hammer, basically. So both have tools assisting them, unlike Superman or the Flash. Yeah, so those would be two that I would throw in there for, you know, if you were going to have, like, they used to have that quarterback contest back in the 80s where they'd have a bunch of quarterbacks show up during the summer and they'd have the QB challenge. So I would invite to that QB challenge for the speed competition. I would invite Thor and Silver Surfer. I think they'd have a shot, and they're definitely in the top 5, I would say.
That sounds good.
Thor is, it's not that he's fast. He can just portal to places, but I don't think he has inherent speed like Silver Surfer does.
Well, I think you're right, but that's going to be of little consequence to the villain who gets hit by Thor traveling at the speed of light. It's going to be little consolation when you tell him, well, he really doesn't have that ability. You're still toast. So, yeah, I mean, he's definitely assisted. He doesn't have that innate ability within himself.
Yeah. The effect is the same. You're right. But
yeah, so,
yeah.
I'm with you. As long as he gets from point A to B within a certain period of time, then that's got to count as speed in some sort.
But I've got a hypothetical for you.
Here we go. Wait, like. before you get to your, I'm sure, very probable hypothetical, we have to say thank you to Bill Comic Mag Musing for his generous donation. If you're talking about the Beware number 10 from like 53 or whatever it is, I think I'm going to be a little short. I think you need to add about 5 more zeros to that to get me close. What do you think, Diaz? You think I'm going to be there? Hey, there it is. Nice. Now, wait a minute. Did you know that was coming?
I did not. I just pulled this out. You know, I am a minimalist, as you know, so I only have about 8 T-shirts, so it's very easy to find. They're right next to my 20 slabs. So
isn't that like a 5G book? That's like a $5,000 book, isn't it?
I mean, depending on the grade. There's one on Comic Link right now. It's a 4.0. I expect it'll sell for about $2,000. So, you know, it depends on the grade. It's undervalued in my opinion right now.
Oh, fantastic book.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's a fantastic book. He knows we like the ladies in the red dresses. And so that's always part of it. Or anyone in a red dress, I guess, if you've got to be that way about it, I reckon. So we appreciate that. And of course, thanks to him, we can don some of our all right, Bill, I owe you one. We're having some technical difficulties here. We had some new items, but somehow they didn't make it onto the show. So, but we'll get some newer items, maybe even later this evening. And of course, we will give you the classic Wonder Woman running to our aid. Thank you so much, Bill, for all you do for the show and for your continued support, as well as everybody in the chat. We've got from Heroes to Icon, Cardstock, Variant. You guys are just rocking and rolling in the chat tonight. Collecting Chaos has joined us. Tat's still here getting run over by skateboards. We appreciate everything you're doing for your family. Mr. Gretzky 9966 is here. Pope Cerebus the first. My goodness. Now I remember why I let Roger do this. I'm exhausted.
You're doing a fine job, Bubba.
Yeah, I bet. All right. So we're going to go. So you were, let's see. Well, DS has had 2. He went with 2, didn't he?
So these are I'm sponsoring these 2 in the competition. I'll sponsor Thor and Silver Surfer. And I have a secret weapon that has been named in the chat for my hypothetical that I'll bring in afterwards, but I'll hear the others contestants.
All right. Well, let's hear from Metarog.
Hey. So, well, you know, I didn't bring out necessarily the fastest. Like I was looking more like ground-based speedsters, you know. So that's what I was focusing on. Otherwise,
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I brought out Quasar and Makari, people like that. But so I was more like just ground-based, just show all the different quirky kind of speedsters that there are out there. Of course, everybody knows this one, Speed Demon. One and only appearance, but amalgamation of Flash and Ghost Rider. Really cool comic too, by the way, if you've read this one. And then here you got a really quirky kind of semi-villain called the Blue Streak. This is the 70s when, you know, roller skating was all the rage, you know. Captain America dispatched them in like 2 panels, you know. I mean, didn't last at all. I mean, he was just a goofball kind of villain, you know. And then of course I got the Golden Age Flash here, Jay Garrick.
I like that one. That's the All-Star run, isn't it? I like that.
Yeah, he's all
revival. It's good.
He's also down here, but you know, somewhat not in his best form there. So, and then here's one that I didn't think many people would remember, and that is the Comet from MLJ Comics.
You got me on that one.
Oh yeah, I've heard of the Comet, but I know nothing about him.
Yeah, and you know, he wasn't a really big hero, honestly, because he was never a Marvel DC. He was always MLJ, Archie, you know, kind of a lower tier. But you know, obviously, comets go very fast, so he could go close to the speed of light, but not quite that fast. I think faster than the speed of sound for sure, though. And of course, we have, speaking of kind of goofier villains, we have this guy over here who is he's called, and don't laugh, the Wizard.
Too late. I laughed.
Yeah, let me get rid of this glare here. So, and there was a Golden Age Wizard, which I have in here as well. But yeah, it has nothing to do with, you know, urinating. It has to do with the sound that he makes when he goes by you. It just like whizzes by you. Get it? So the Wizard.
So you've confirmed that it has nothing to do with urination?
Pretty much, I've confirmed that. Yeah.
If Roger hasn't come across it in his 40 years of collecting, then it probably is not out there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, with Roger's knowledge and experience, you can prove things in the negative. If he hasn't seen it, it's not out there. That's pretty much proof.
I'm good with that.
This is the first appearance of the Comet, and I know that because this book is on my Grails list to get at some point, mainly because it's robot cover, but it's Pep Comics #1. This is the first appearance of the Comet.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such a cool book because of the robot cover for me.
Those robots look like they came out of Smash Comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was 1940, I believe. January of 40, I think. Let me check. Yeah, January of 40. So, yeah, Pep Comic 1, January of 40, and you'll never see one with those bright colors, but it doesn't come up too often, and it's really collectible only because, I say only with quotations, but it's collectible only because it is the #1 issue, and it's an early MLJ, and it's a robot cover, but much cheaper than some of the superhero tees. So this one is attainable for someone like me who wants to lay out a lot of money for a grail for me that's not necessarily very high on a lot of Golden Age superhero collectors.
Easy now. You might get a $5 donation towards that if you keep playing your cards just wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a couple in here. It's got the Shield, the Comet, Midshipman. Shield's the most popular, obviously, but you know, there's not a lot of demand for first appearance of the Shield, but this book is pricey, but not off the charts. So yeah, anyway, first Comet. And I think Comet's also the name of
Bathroom cleaner.
Supergirl's horse. Isn't Supergirl's horse named Comet?
Yep, that's right.
Whose horse?
Right, but that's DC.
Yeah.
Wait, whose horse is named Comet?
Supergirl's
got a horse named Comet.
Now, I collect some Supergirl, and I did not know that she had a horse at all.
And I think is the horse white or pink? I can't remember.
White horse.
Okay.
Oh.
And what about Streaky the Super Cat?
No, that's not a real thing, Roger. We thank you to not bring that kind of stuff to us.
That is true.
Well, I mean, isn't a streaker just really
No, not Streaker, Streaky.
but isn't a streaker just another name for a flasher, Roger?
Again, you're it's not a streaker. Streaky.
Oh, it's not a streaker. My mistake.
Oh, and Collecting Chaos has a good comment. Shield's first appearance is in that book, and he predates Captain America. Yep. Yeah, that's significant. He didn't quite year on the way Captain America did, but yeah, I think that's awesome that he predates Captain America. It's the MLJ version of Captain America, essentially.
Yep, correct.
Yeah, super cool book and some cool characters in it.
Yeah, that is a cool book. Unfortunately, you're right. I mean, Captain America obviously went to iconic status, and Shield and went to obscurity, but definitely he was one of the very first American-based heroes like that, with the flag, emblem and all that. Yeah, really cool. Yeah,
cool. I like it, and I'm obviously going with the Flash for my choice. This one here is John Wesley Shipp signed. Actually, this one isn't. This is my backup cover. My signed one's on the wall. Sorry, folks. Then, of course, a bunch of Flash going on. The true fastest man alive. Everybody knows it. I don't care how many races he loses. This is a fun one where it's got some of his antics all on this 80-page giant. I had picked up a collection of Infantino Flash. I ended up selling most of them, but I kept that one. I just liked it.
Yeah, I was working on a run of Flash, the Infantino Flash, which is 105 to 175, I think.
Yeah, that was the problem.
Yeah.
Is it? It was never ending.
I know, 76 books, and it's all fun and games until you get into like the 120 and below.
Yep. Yeah, and then the condition starts really getting rough.
Yeah.
And this is just an offhand observation, but I say that I feel like when I'm as a low grade collector, I find that if you're comparing straight eras, whether it be Bronze or DC or of course moderns or Copper Age, that DC books tend to be more rough handled than Marvel books. It's just you can find a 9/8 Bronze Age Marvel book. Try finding a 9/8 Bronze Age DC book. I mean, it's like, I don't know why. It's just they're just rougher.
Yeah,
maybe the quality wasn't the same, and so they wore worse. But I tell you, it's tough to find good Silver Age, especially DC. They're all like beat to hell.
Yeah, the early Flashes, like 105 to 110, we'll say. Those first few issues, man, if you find a 7.0 of one of those, that's like near the top of the census. I actually tried to buy a 107 that was a 7.0 and an old holder for like $1,100, but he wouldn't meet me at that. I think he sold it for $1,300. But I was going to crack and press that, because if that goes to a 7.5, it like doubles in value, because that's already close to the top of the census. I don't even think there's an 8.5 on the census. I think 180 and a couple 7.5s or something. And then in the silver and then the bronze, I feel like I was making a list recently of the books that are hardest to find in nice shape, and I realized most of them were DC books.
Wow.
Yeah. Marvel's easy to find in high grade, and then DC is like, Strange Adventures 205, Showcase 60, Superman 233. All these DC books are really tough to find in good condition.
Well, now here's an interesting point. So tell me what you think about this, DS, and Roger, if you so care to cut off DS, but I doubt you will. Mm-hmm. Collecting Chaos says, I have a lot of DC Bronze Age books in high grade. Of course, I bought them when they were new. So is it possible that the high grades aren't in the market because they're still in private collections?
Well, I think Collecting Chaos and Roger probably have them all.
They probably have one of each. I don't know if they have them all.
Not all of them. No.
Well, I collect Bronze Age horror, and I shoot for 9.0 and up. On like, and I usually target early bronze, like 70 to 73, and anything 9.0 or higher on those books, the price jumps dramatically, the census drops dramatically, and they're really tough to find for DC bronze horror. Not so with the Marvel from the same era. Now they're expensive, but they're out. You can find 9.8s out there, but there's not many. A lot of those DC bronze, early bronze horror books don't have any 9.8s on the census. So yeah, I think there's probably a lot of these, and that's in the 70s, early 70s. So we're talking people who, there's collections of those out there of people who are still in the hobby and collecting and are not, you know, all that old. And they have a lot of high grade copies of these bronze books. And those are going to be, you know, those will come to market down the road as people pass them on to their children or put them on the market. And there will be
true.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's not like Golden Age. Most of those collections have been passed on at least once already. But the bronze stuff, there's still tons of those out there that are still with the original owners.
I tell you, there's a lot of just fantastic books out there that are, I think, also not slabbed or encased or, you know, heavily preserved, if you will, in any way. I see, you know, when you get into the long boxes of some of these off the rack collectors from the 60s and 70s, you're coming across some very pristine books that are just like an old poly bags, but the books themselves look fantastic. I mean, I know a lot of the modern emphasis is on doing you know, this high preservation with CGC and other type methods, Mylars and everything else. I know DS's favorite, but realistically, I know Roger will agree with this. There's just so much in the wild that, or in private collections that are just in old boards and bags, and those books still look fantastic.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, in fact, I was look for those older poly bags and books and bags because those were probably put away decades ago. So they probably are in better condition than those that have been constantly upgraded, you know, put into different bags and handled and so forth and so on from shop to shop. Because at least it's been my experience that when you find something like that, like really those old dingy Robert Bell bags, generally those are in better shape because they either have one owner or they have been in they haven't been handled, because a lot of people don't even want to touch those old poly bags. They're like, you know, those things are nasty.
You know, Centauri Stir Fry says they give you the fuzzy fingers. And if you've ever dug through a long box, like in a shady flea market, you know, where the bags are so old and dirty, they're porous and they leave your fingers like yellow after you dug. And your fingers feel like there's something on them, like there's something growing on them. Yep. And then like I'll touch my face, you know, I'll scratch my face or something, and I'll go, oh no, I feel it on my face.
Well, if you're lucky enough to have an awesome LCS in your town like me, and you have occasion to go there because you are just in dire need of bags and boards, you can still get the old opaque bags for my LCS that have about an inch of the top flap behind the back that folds over and traps the air and makes it like a bubble in here, and you can't see through these. And yeah, so they're still out there, and I was stupid enough to buy 2 packs of these, and now I have, you know, 2 packs of crap bags.
I did that. I did the same thing. I had actually bought them online. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know that if I just assumed that all bags were better these days. Like, I guess just part of me was like, no one's making those 3 mil thick, you know, cloudy. I mean, this thing, you could see better through a grocery bag. And they were literally 3 mil. They had the flap had like those stray pieces on the edges. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe anybody. And it was brand new.
Yeah,
like,
and look at this.
Nobody's making this anymore. And I bought a whole stack of them.
Look how much space is on the side. These are Silver Age bags. Look how much space is on the side when you put a book in there.
Oh, man.
And then when you fold it over, look how much, can you see how much of the back part is there?
Yeah. Yeah, and then when you bend it back, it's huge. I'm like,
Yeah, it was
anything.
They made one bag fits all in the old days, so they were bigger. So you could, except for Golden Age, maybe you couldn't fit those, but anything else pretty much fit in those.
It's terrible. Look, even Linda wants more room. Look at that. There you go. That's one of our new ones.
Well, at least we pull these bags out better than a Silver Age book.
Very true. Very true indeed.
Well, yeah, if anybody wants some cheap bags, hit me up. I've got 2 packs of these subpar bags you can have for dirt cheap. Pay the shipping and plus 1 penny, and I will send you these.
I tell you, after that glowing review, I got to imagine your DMs are going to be lighting up their DMs.
Yeah.
Well, they're budget bags, so the offer's out there.
Hey, if you don't have bags, it's better than nothing.
Yeah,
hey, there's somebody out there who needs that bag.
It applies to bags as well.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody out there needs that bag. I believe it. Wow. Good stuff. All right, DS. Well, even though you just rambled on about bags, you're up next. What do you got for us?
Oh, well, I'll throw you my secret weapon.
Wait, wouldn't this be number 3, though? Are you already in your secret weapon?
Well, I mean, I would. All right. Well, I will throw in the team up. I'm going to bring them in as a team because to me, they're very similar. And it's probably because I don't know much about either character. But it is going to be Nova and Captain Marvel because both of them travel faster than the speed of light. Nova has the power of the whole Nova Corps, essentially. She has the power of a small star, and they both travel faster than the speed of light. And they look cool doing it. So those are going to be my next 2.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't know much about either one other than the speed of light traveling and that they look cool doing it. And, she's been compared to or said that she has the power of a white dwarf star or something. Yeah, so I think those 2 are up there.
I'm sorry to stop you there, but I believe that since this is a family show mostly, I believe the term you're looking for is white little person star. I'm sorry to bring it down on you like that, but I know it's a struggle. It's definitely a struggle. The struggle's real, but we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah, Lady Fantastic says she can go binary. There you go, right there.
Now that the
binary fission.
The previous Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, could also turn herself into light photons. So she could go the speed of light as well. So Captain Marvel, whichever era you're talking about, was very fast. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I was, in my mind, this is probably because of the current MCU culture, but I think of Carol Danvers being the Captain Marvel. And I think I'm in the minority that I actually like the actress that played her in the movie, and I like that movie, and I'm probably in the minority of that, which is where I usually am on all this stuff anyway. So I'm very comfortable being there. But yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yes, that's not fair. You shouldn't put yourself down that way. All you have to do is give everyone your constant. Give them your constant, and then we know from which way to judge the rest of your choices. What's your favorite superhero movie?
Well, I will tell you, and I'll probably lose credibility with 99% of everyone, but that one person who agrees with me will get it, because if you know, you know. And it's Batman and Robin with Arnold Schwarzenegger playing Mr. Freeze. Best superhero movie of all time. Freaking love it.
Thank you for that. So now you can all gauge the rest of his movie critiquing based on that constant. If you move left or right from there, you'll know what you're in for.
I hear the DS Comics review channel is a hot commodity.
Oh yeah,
in the world.
I can't wait to see his reaction video to the newest The Batman trailer, I don't know. It's dark and it's got the vampire guy, and it's whatever. I don't really watch that. But if you want a good movie, you got to see Arnold Schwarzenegger dressed in tinfoil.
That movie is on par with Plan 9 from Outer Space. It is total camp, and it is done so artfully, and it is just a pleasure to watch. I just get immersed in that movie, and just the visual effects, the cheesy cliche lines, and it's just super. I love it.
Well, I must admit, so I remember I went to see the Batman Forever. So that's actually probably, I don't know if it's my favorite Batman movie, but it's pretty close. If it's not my favorite, it's definitely number 2. So, and that's just because it's campy also, but it also had decent dialogue. Not good dialogue, but very comic booky, which is fine. But it had decent dialogue. So and that to me edges it. Well, not just edges it, puts it leaps and bounds above what was Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
So, but the dialogue in that was good, and it still has similar campiness without going over the top.
Yeah.
So that's and I saw that one in the theaters with my dad, and when we were done watching that, we were like, "That was amazing! That was awesome!" Because my dad hated the Batman Returns, which I didn't like it either, but he really disliked it. And I was like, come on, Dad, we're going to go see this movie. You're going to like it. It's going to be different. I promise. You know how I knew it was going to be different? Because the background was like pink and purple. And I said, see, it's going to be like a comic book. Let's go. Because, Batman Returns was like nothing like a comic book. It was it was terrible. I think it was terrible. A lot of people really like it, but we digress. All right, Roger. Is it Roger's turn or my turn? It's Roger's turn.
Roger's turn.
All right, go for it, Roger.
All right, here's a couple other ones that probably, a lot of people wouldn't think about. Spitfire. Here. She was an invader for a while. She was actually royalty, I believe. One of the Fallsworths, I think. Maybe I'm misremembering that one, but she got like a transfusion, I think, from the Human Torch, and became fast instead of flaming. But anyway. And over here, this one, I bet very few people remember this guy, and that is Lightning from the Thunder Agents.
I do, but that's because I'm a Wally Wood fan.
Wally Wood. Yep, that's right.
Can't slide those Wally Wood characters in on me, Roger.
And really, he didn't have any powers. His suit made him super fast, but not anywhere in the league of Flash or anything like that.
Yes, great man. We mentioned both Nova and Cannonball. We're all over it tonight.
Oh, is Cannonball the Kentucky guy?
Huh?
Cannonball's the Kentucky guy?
Yeah, Cannonball's a Kentucky guy. So we covered Cannonball. You covered Cannonball and Nova. So you had Gray Man on lock. What do you got, Rod? Look at that. I hate the old version of Ultron. He's so stupid looking.
Well, God. Actually is he got like his body got destroyed, so his head got placed on another android here.
That looks terrible.
Terrible. It's terrible. And this is Quicksilver's green costume over here, as you can see.
Hold that up closer. I can't see that.
Yeah, I like the green costume.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
the silver is kind of obvious. Yeah, I think maybe they should have went with the silver instead of white for the bolt across his chest, but I'm good with that. I like the green.
Let me get the glare off of there for you. But
no, that's fine. I love glare. The glare shows you care, Roger.
Yeah, glare shows you care, boy. You're great with those rhymings. And this is when he got married to Crystal. Here, yeah, of course.
Cool. I like that.
And then over here we have okay, so you remember Speed Demon over here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't it funny? I messed that up. I thought it was a cross between what I say, Ghost Rider and the Human Torch or something. And they're both Marvel characters.
Yeah.
Roger had to set me straight in the comment section.
it can get confusing when when you have so many different amalgams. And so we have that. Yeah. So we have that speed demon, but previous to that, we had this speed demon, which was a Spider-Man villain. And
cool.
Later on, he joined like the Masters of Evil or some.
I don't know anything about him. DS, do you know anything about him?
No, I don't.
Yeah, he's not exactly a household name, shall we say? There was a speed demon before that one.
Cool.
And over here, I'm just going to mention this one real quick. This is actually here a mutant from the M2 universe, which was kind of an alternate timeline in Marvel. And she was called also Blue Streak. Remember the previous Blue Streak that I showed Captain America? So she was a mutant, like kind of like an amalgamation of Quicksilver and I forgot who somebody else.
Oh, it looks like a Kid Quicksilver, like a Kid Flash, like should be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is actually a really cool.
I like that. That's a good team.
Yeah, Sharon Carter this is like after the Avengers had retired, and this is Juggernaut's son. Obviously, that's Mayday Parker, Sharon and Carter, and and Steve Rogers' daughter. And
I thought that was Sharon Carter.
I don't think that is. She's way too young here, and this is like 20 or 30 years after, the other Avengers, the main 616 Avengers.
Right.
So anyway, those are just some maybe people don't remember, and I do.
Tell them, Roger.
Yeah.
I like that. Those are good choices. All right, I'm gonna go with my.
This is Quicksilver, essentially same uniform, but he was blue. This is off the cover of X-Men 4, first appearance. But yeah, he was blue traditionally, and then in the bronze they had him green for a little bit. But
I like how his hair kind of looks like Magneto's helmet.
Yeah, and it kind of they added something so that you would know he's fast, and the Flash has little like wings on his side of his head, so they gave him this little wispy hair up here to make him look fast when he's just standing around, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I thought he's got a cool uniform in the blue, and he does have a silver lightning bolt across his uniform originally.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that powder blue one that he had for a long time.
Yeah, I think the modern version of him is back to the blue, but it's much more sleek now. I think they even do like a black and white diagonal split on the costume for some of the newer, more modern Quicksilver that I've seen.
Cool.
Very nice.
I like it. I have for my sneak pick, this is my underdog pick. This is my secret weapon pick. I'm going with the Roadrunner. Meep, meep.
Oh, that's a good one.
Dunk, dunk, dunk.
That's a good one. Yeah, I should have pulled one of those out. And Sonic the Hedgehog, too. Yeah.
Roger, what are you doing to me? No, that's all right. Go ahead. Pull a hedgehog out of your
no, I didn't.
cave of gratitude.
I didn't bring them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is Gold Key, and this is actually the title of this book is actually Beep Beep, the Roadrunner. So this is the kind of book that wreaks havoc on your filing system. It's like,
yeah, do you put it under R or B?
Yeah, I always want to put it under R for Roadrunner, thinking I'm real clever, not putting it for the T for the, right? So I'm like, no, it's not the Roadrunner. It's Roadrunner under R. And then when I go searching for it in the apps and all the databases, it's like, no. It's actually Beep Beep, the Roadrunner. So
yeah, Roadrunner is like a cross between the Flash and Domino, because a Roadrunner is very fast, but he's also very lucky.
No, I always see I never thought of him as lucky. I looked at the Roadrunner
1,000 times.
I thought that he had a Jedi-like ability to sense things before they happened.
Okay, so like a Flash Yoda hybrid.
Right. Like he thought so far in advance, he was able to almost like on a like life was playing out on a chessboard for him, that he knew the next 5 moves of the Coyote.
Okay.
So that's the way I always kind of looked at it. Because he always laughed afterwards. Like when you're lucky, like if I crossed the street and a Mack truck flew right behind me, I'd be like, whoa, I was lucky. I would be stunned. But instead, the Roadrunner would have something like that go behind him, and he would just laugh. and run off. So he knew it was going to happen. Anyway,
Okay.
that's my
All right.
Roadrunner spiel. There you go.
Jackson Roykirk,
That's a good one. Yep.
yeah, Jackson Roykirk's mentioning that the Roadrunner owned the Acme company. Yeah, I always think of the Coyote as sort of going to the same company for his devices that all the villains in the Schomburg Timelies went to, where everything is perfectly labeled. If it's poison gas or if it's, whatever, it's always perfectly labeled with the dials, and
In English.
they never work. You think you got a good device, and that there's always a loophole or snag with it. But I feel like the Roadrunner went to that same store.
That's fair. I like it. Well, there's my secret entry. That's my speeding is awesome. What have been? I like that one.
Yeah, that's the one.
I like that. Wally Wiley. Well, Wile E. Coyote was a super genius. He was a super genius, but he didn't have the forward thinking ability that Roadrunner had. I don't think. Beep beep. All right. So who do we got up next? This will probably be our last round. Maybe just a speed round. Whoever you got next there, whatever you got left there, DS.
All right, so secret weapon. We're going to have this competition, and we're going to race from point A to point B and see who gets there the fastest. What I am going to do the night before the competition is sneak in with this guy, let him hang out at the destination for a minute, and then the next day when we're at the starting line, he will have already been at the destination, and he will be familiar with it, and he can instantaneously transport himself to that destination and win, even faster than all these other guys. And that's Nightcrawler. He's my secret. All I have to do is make sure he can see the destination, or he's been there before, or is familiar with it, and he can instantaneously get there faster than anybody else. That's my secret weapon.
Wow. We're going to open this up for debate, even with the limited time we have left. Roger, what do you think?
Limited by distance, but for this,
are you counting the Banff ability as speed?
Again, I consider that a little bit different because it does cover a distance quicker, but I still think that there are speedsters that can get to unless he's I think he has to have line of sight to.
Yeah, he has said that. He acknowledged that.
So I think there are speedsters that could get there, like Silver Surfer could get there quicker than he could Banff.
Yeah, and I think Nightcrawler is limited at some point ultimately by distance also. But if we have a destination would be like a star that's 500 million light years away, you can see that up in the sky when you go out at night. Nightcrawler will be able to see it. So I don't think a line of sight's a problem necessarily, but I think he's limited by distance. I think that's something that he has. But anyway, we're gonna try it. It's gonna be my secret weapon. I'm gonna tweak his powers a little bit and tweak his build a little bit, and I'm gonna try to I'm gonna put teleportation against flat out speed and see what happens. So that would be interesting.
It would be. It would be. There is a mutant in the Marvel universe. I believe her name is Lila Cheney. Lila Cheney. She's
it's Layla.
I think it's Lila, but
no, it's Layla.
It's Layla. Okay.
I think she got me on my knees.
Well, I think that's another one. Oh boy. Yeah. And anyway, she can teleport interstellar distances. So that would be somebody that would probably be amongst the fastest because it's like instantaneously she could go, like you said, various galaxies over. So
yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna throw this monkey in your wrench though.
Mm-hmm.
Speed is not only relegated to travel. You can eat quickly. You can raise your hand quickly. You can jump up and down quickly. You can be the world's fastest jumping jacker. And your Banff ability or to travel between, star systems is not going to allow you to achieve those speeds.
Okay, so what are you saying?
I'm saying that if you're going to say someone is the fastest, right, then I think you would have to include all manners of motion, not just traveling from point A to B.
All right,
In
so
which
who do you
case,
have?
Nightcrawler could
Or
not
what?
eat a pizza as fast as the Flash or Superman, but he could maybe move from one distance to another quickly.
True. Yeah,
Yeah.
and there are speedsters that don't necessarily run, like they spin, like Whirlwind, the Top, Texas Twister, people like that have the ability
Titanium Devil,
to
Bill
fast
says.
in their own axis, along their own axis, but they don't have straight line speed. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Oh, Gray.
Well, and then of course we can bring in my all-time favorite topic of time travel.
Oh, hell, we don't have time for that.
That's another topic for another day, I think.
We got to make sure we keep them away from those things. All right. Well, that is fair, but I think, is Nightcrawler your top pick?
No, my top pick. I'm going to go with these two. These are going to be my top two picks, but I'm going to go with Thor because I like him the best, but probably Silver Surfer's faster. But Superman, I think, is probably the fastest, but he's not on my team, so I'm going to go with Silver Surfer.
That's fair. I think that Superman doesn't even use all the speed he could use. I think that if he had a greater knowledge of Earth physics, he could probably in some way use his breath, his super breath, and his super heat vision in a manner that would increase his speed even more so.
Well, if he was traveling at the speed of light and used his laser eyes, it would not go any faster, according to the laws of physics.
Yeah, because that's going at the speed of light already.
Yeah.
But what if he turned with his back to the wind?
Well, that's some pretty.
If he ran backwards, then it would at least allow him to maintain such speeds, and perhaps with the extra blow action, he could blow further away and move even quicker, because I don't think his super breath has ever been clocked.
All right, sir.
Probably not. You're right.
And of course, if any of these guys are going at the right angle, they would achieve something that is actually in physics, in astrophysics, called subluminal speed. And subluminal speed is where something appears to be traveling faster than the speed of light because of the angle that it's moving at with relative to the angle of other things that are moving with it. Particularly noteworthy in jets of created by spinning magnetic fields around black holes or neutron stars. So if you're interested in that stuff, go check out subluminal speed, and it's a kind of a cool thing.
All right.
So there
that
you
sounds
go.
like a plan. I gotta get right on that.
Yeah, comics is my daytime job, and then physics is my nighttime hobby.
We
So
appreciate
those are daytime hobby and nighttime hobby. So there you go.
Well, another thing is that remember that all beings that can go into space and survive can move faster because there's no friction in space, because there's no air friction. So you should be able to go much faster in the vacuum of space than you could in an atmosphere. So that's another reason why Superman probably holds back, because of the repercussions to the atmosphere. I mean, essentially, he could turn the whole magnetosphere on fire if he went too fast and caused too much friction.
Yeah, that's true. Probably, yeah. It would.
Yeah.
He'd burn up the ozone layer if he went too fast through there.
Well, they always talk about the Flash too having to have a special suit because he moves so quickly. He would tear up his shoes and his clothes, and everything would just disintegrate from pure friction. And I think also wind would have to. I mean, it would have to at some point start tearing you apart. You know, that just pure force, blunt force. You couldn't be smooth enough to get through that.
Well,
and I think, yeah.
We've come a long way, because back in the 40s and 50s, scientists were debating whether or not a rocket ship would even work in space before space travel began, because there wouldn't be anything for the rocket to push against when it was in space. So there was a real debate as to whether even a rocket ship with chemical fuel boosters would even be able to move in space outside the Earth's atmosphere, because there'd be nothing for it to push on. And that was an actual debate prior to leaving the atmosphere. And now it's like common knowledge. A lot of stuff we're talking about, we know, like talking about friction and space and all this other stuff. So yeah, it's cool stuff.
Well, I mean, Lady Fantastic is saying, nothing can travel faster than the speed of light, which I say that you are limiting your genius, fine lady. You're limiting yourself. You're limiting the extent to which we can stand on each other's shoulders in generations to come and push towards faster than the speed of light. I believe it can be done. It shall be done, and none of us will live to see it.
Well, and there is a concept that's proven. There's experimental data on it called quantum entanglement, where two particles can be quantumly entangled over a large distance, and one can affect the other instantaneously, and that is information traveling between the two with no real connection, traveling faster than the speed of light. Yeah, and if you talk to philosophers, you can get into a whole debate about consciousness, and there's some discussions with regard to light speed and other physical restraints with regard to consciousness. So yeah, there's a lot of.
Well, I mean, even so,
I always think there's more coming, and
I do too.
Every time we think we know everything, we've been wrong. So
right, and we laugh at generations past for their limited foresight.
Right.
You have Lady Fantastic here saying, she's talking about observable speeds, and although that is true, we already progress in what we're able to observe with equipment and things of that nature. So, although we may not be able to observe it with the naked eye, we can certainly develop some sort of equipment, be it optical or electromagnetic or something that can observe a movement that quick. And then also we can deduce that the movement has occurred if the same object appears so quickly in another space, and we can observe both of their appearances, and we can calculate the distance between them being greater than the speed of light if traveled, then we should be able to say that something did in fact travel, deductively faster than the speed of light in order to get there, albeit that there may be some other circumstances that have caused some anomaly of some sort that we're as of yet unaware of, that in itself could be its own discovery. So
yeah, Mark the Cutty Sark is talking about Einstein's theory there, and there are gravitational waves which have now been detected, and it's a known thing. I'm not sure how much they actually know about it versus how much they think they know about it, but gravitational waves can travel faster than the speed of light. And they sort of get around that by saying, well, it's actually space stretching. But to me, that's little consolation if you use gravity waves to move an object faster than light would move that distance. To me, that means it's moving faster than the speed of light. So there's a lot of other stuff out there that we're not aware of. But Lady Fantastic is right. And I just always look forward to the day that these scientists who think they know everything and that's the end all be all of something are proven wrong, and we expand our knowledge and learn other things, because that's typically how it's gone throughout history. So, but she is right on.
Yeah.
I just always look forward to the time when we learn something new, and then the last generation of science was wrong, and we have expanded. So it's an interesting topic.
My only hope in aggravating the scientific types is that I hope that they never settle for what they've been told the limits of the universe hold, and that they continue to push forward as if all the things they've learned prior about the constraints of physics and even in this, metaphysical and temporal physical can and will someday be broken, and maybe they'll be the ones to do it, and that way I get to enjoy some of it when it happens.
Yeah. And Varangian Vigilante is going to the other side of the spectrum, and it's exactly right. They are about to bring time to a standstill because they are approaching absolute slowness.
Hey, why not? And no limit to the slowness, of course, right? like a turtle rolling backwards on a 1% incline, yeah, or decline.
Yeah, I think Kavi was talking about how somebody sent him something, or he sent something, and he lives in Brooklyn, and somebody in Queens sent him something just from the next borough over in New York City, and it took like 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
You literally could have gotten a taxi and drove it there in like an hour.
These days I would have, because mail's been tricky.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think even though the horse tried to escape us, we found him and we beat him.
And how?
Beat him into submission. Well, other than your last final thoughts, DS, do you have any further final thoughts?
No, that's enough thoughts for today. My brain's starting to hurt, honestly.
It's exhausted.
It is exhausting. But yeah.
Neurons have been arrested.
Interesting topic. I'll tell you, the ones Roger brought up, some superheroes that just go to show. I mean, so many of those a couple of them I've never heard of, and there's so many that it would be interesting. I'm thinking now of superhuman abilities in comics. Super speed must be one of the most prevalent abilities with so many that we were able to pull out of here. So I'm curious as to if there's other abilities that there's more of in comics than super speed. It sounds like that one's got to be one of the top abilities in comics.
There are essentially 4 major top abilities in comics. I remember an article reading, and that is speed, strength, flight, and durability. Those are the big 4.
That's why it's so frustrating when, and I find it these days, definite laziness, when they go ahead and give someone all of those. And I would even argue, maybe next week, in fact, that there's a 5th one, and that would be intelligence. Because they have certainly made intelligence something of a superpower, in that you have these people that are, infinitely intelligent scientists who then also happen to have super strength, super speed, and flight. It's like, really? You got everything? Okay.
Yep.
So
yeah, and there's also like energy projection, but those were the 4. That when they looked at all the companies' comics and what prevalence there was in the heroes and villains, those were the 4 that kept coming up over and over.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd probably choose flight if I could only have one. I think that'd be cool.
I always worry about flight. I like flight too because it's a showstopper.
Yep.
I think, if and this will sound terrible, but stay with me. You guys know me pretty well. If I was at church this Sunday morning, if I had walked in on air, it would have been a very different service. That's all I'm saying, So, all right, Roger. Well, DS, you got anything going on your channel's not defunct? Didn't you just have a video today? I was working or driving or something. I missed it. What do you got going on?
It's not defunct, Bob, yet, but yeah, I did a video today showing off, just a comic haul video of some stuff I picked up over the last few weeks. It probably will take another 24 hours before it's properly uploaded. But if you got the notification, I went live today and showed off this, among others. And it's a mix of modern and silver, I guess, and 1 gold. So yeah, there's some cool stuff I picked up. But other than that, I've got 2 packages of CGC and nothing else really going on at the moment. So yeah, but that video I did today is cool. And then tomorrow night I'll be on Comic Core at 10 Eastern for Golden Guys, where we talk about Golden Age comics. So that's always fun too.
Well, cool. I always enjoy that show. It comes on very late, so I don't usually get to watch it live. Plus, I've already, hid in my comic room all night Monday night doing this show, so I kind of feel bad doing it 2 nights in a row to watch Golden Guys. But I try to catch it on the rewind, which is great because that's another show. There's a couple of shows that completely ignore the chat, and Golden Guys is pretty much one of those. They ignore almost everybody in the chat. On super rare occasions, they'll pop one up, almost to the annoyance of DS.
Well, I usually interact with the chat in the chat.
Right, in the chat. But as far as on camera or whatever, it pretty much ignores the chat. And that adds a rewatchability to that show that I greatly appreciate. Because you never feel like you're missing anything. Watching it on the replay feels like watching it live. Because even if you put something in the chat, they're probably not going to acknowledge it. It's just to talk with the other people in the chat, which you can miss or not miss. But, it's really nice to have the video not interrupted with, constant shouting out of the chat. So says Area 51 in Canada. So, it's great. I still enjoy the way we do our stuff, but it definitely does make it nice for rewatch, that Golden Guy. So way to go, DS.
Well, thanks.
I like it. Look at that. GPA for CGC Comics.
Yeah, there's somebody in the chat was asking, so I was just showing it.
What were they asking? What GPA is?
Well, where to find prices for CGC Comics.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people use Go Collect. I use GPA. GPA is, I don't know, what is $11 a month or something. It's not that expensive. It's worth it. And it's gpanalysis.com. I like this. All CGC sales on Heritage, Comic Connect, and eBay, and some of the dealers submit to GPA. And so most of the sales will show up on GPA. So it's a good resource for finding pricing for CGC books.
Yeah. I have the CLZ app, and if you have the subscription, which is just like $15 for the whole year, there's a back door to get the Go Collect pricing. All you have to do is put the book and the grade in your app and then hit refresh, pretend that you own the book, right?
Yeah.
And whatever book and grade it is, and it will give you the Go Collect value of that book. So, and then you could just delete it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Go Collect gets their data. I'm not saying it's inaccurate.
No, they're not as thorough, for sure.
Yeah, I noted there's differences. I hear people quoting Go Collect, and I know the GPA, and there are different values for a particular book and a particular grade.
Honestly,
so they're really getting data from different places or averaging it somehow differently. So GPA and Go Collect are different, but I don't use Go Collect, so I'm hesitant to say it's not as good. I use GPA, and it is good, so I don't have a need to go anywhere else. But I know a lot of people like Go Collect. But Go Collect and GPA often differ by as much as 10 to 15% sometimes on these books.
Yes. And Bill's saying Go Collect is free. It is, but they have unlockable charts and datas and things of that nature too. So you can do more. Thanks, V Squared. Good grief, you guys. Poor Linda. Gorillas are for everyone. So yes, I think that sounds great. I love GPA. I love all that stuff that people quote me on prices because it ends my conversation with them very quickly. I love when negotiations go quickly. I don't care if they go in my favor or not, as long as they don't waste my time. So,
well, I've always said GPA for me, as I sell a fair number of comics. I'm not a dealer, but I do a lot of selling, and I refer to GPA a lot. As a seller, I only use GPA to get a sense of what buyers are expecting to see the prices of these books to be. It's not how I price my books per se. I just know if buyers are expecting this to be around $100, then I will price it at 95 or 90, and I know it'll sell quicker. But some guys will look at GPA and it's at $500 and rising, and so their price is $525. Okay, I mean, I'm not trying to break GPA records. I'm just trying to sell books. You know what I mean? I don't want to hold it for 3 months to get to squeeze every penny out of the radish when I'm selling. I'm trying to move them. So, but as a buyer, I go on GPA to see what the market is paying for a book, and then I try to get it for a little under that or at that. I know sort of what the going value is because I'm buying them for value, and I plan to resell a lot of these sooner. So I want to know how much I'm into it based on the market. So 2 different ways of looking at GPA is how I do it.
Definitely. I agree with that. And the thing that I try and remind people is that is an average. And then someone say, well, the last sale was like, I don't care what the last sale was either.
Right.
I don't care what the last sale was. I don't care what the first sale of the year was. And I don't care what the average is. The only thing I care about is how many people in the last year bought it for the price I want to pay. And when I see that, and I see that the number is 0, then I lose a little bit of hope in my price, and I know I got to raise it up. But I got to tell you, hope springs eternal when I see more than 2 people buy the book that I want for the price that I want to pay in the last year, and that makes me a very patient man.
Yep, exactly. And you know, GPA and Go Collect also, but there are things you can't get if I'm looking at the data. Sometimes a book presents horribly.
Oh, yeah.
People paid less. Or sometimes it presents awesome. It's got white pages and an unverified signature on it. and it goes for more. And those things are not shown on GPA. You know what I mean? So the presentability is completely absent from these charts. And
yeah, lest we forget, there's a couple of blue and white Hulk 181s out there that are graded at 5.0s.
Right, yeah, completely faded book.
Unfaded, not a stitch of color on there anywhere, and it's still a 5.0. You're like, how the heck is that?
That happened with an X-Men 94 I saw sell, and it ended up on GPA, and it went way below GPA, and that became the new latest sale, and it was a completely faded X-Men 94, and it was like a 5.0, but it sold for like a 3.5 price. But on GPA, it just shows 5.0 sold for this, and that's now the last sale. Not really accurate because that was a poorly presenting example of that book. So you can't, you got to sort of look through it and look at what's going on in the market. You get a bigger picture. So I don't rely on GPA in an absolute term, but it's a tool that's helpful along with other things. So you don't want to get tied to it.
I agree. And I like it for insurance purposes. When I develop the total value of my collection, I use those tools heavily.
Yeah, I don't
want the insurance adjuster to develop that price at a later date. If I can supply those values to the insurance company, they will accept them. So as long as I have some piece of evidence and I can print and use those values highlighted off a sheet, it's very simple, and send it in, and they accept that as the agreed value for the item. So
yeah, but that's also something that's always in the back of my mind, because I have a lot of books that have very sparse GPA data. And I know the book that I have in my collection is worth, let's say, $5,000. But if you go on GPA, the last sale is like 1,000 3 years ago, and there's none on the market and none have sold. So that gets me a little sketched out. If that book becomes a total loss, I'm going to have a very tough time recovering $5,000 that I know it's worth. So often it's this little thing in the back of my mind that when I sell one of those big books, it's sort of like a relief. Like now I don't have to worry about that being a total loss and not getting full value for it. That's something I think about. It's not a major component of my collecting, but it's something I think about with some of these rare books with sparse data.
No, that's a very good point. And that's very smart to think of it that way. I wouldn't want it to guide me too much in being hasty in my sale, but I can see the relief at the back end.
It also screws me sometimes when I buy a book on eBay and some seller doesn't know what it's called, what the value is, because there's no sparse data, and they'll put a $3,000 book on eBay for $1,000, and I'll buy it real quick, and then I will resell it for $3,000, and then all the buyers offer me $1,000 because that's the last GPA sale, and I'm like, well, yeah, that was my book. It was a trigger purchase on eBay instantly because it was undervalued, and it's worth more than that. You know that, but yeah, they always do that.
Yeah. That's part of it. You could go the ETA Nick route and sit on the book for 6 months. That's what
I try to do. I try to sit on them long enough, which is also why I don't like those damn Comic Link stickers, because when I go to sell a book quick, they can go see if I just bought it on Comic Link. If that sticker's not there, they don't know where I got it.
That's twice that sticker has been the bane of our chat. Poor Roger's over there. Just Roger, are you awake? Roger.
Barely, yeah, but here.
Roger, wake up, Roger.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. When you start talking about CGC stuff, I kind of, start doing.
All right, well, what do you got going on in your channel, Roger? Just throw it out there. We're listening.
I don't think I'm going to have a video tomorrow. My wife has got a project that I have to help her with. So probably the roundup on Thursday is going to be the next video from me.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that there will be a great number of people who miss the delve into obscura that Roger offers each and every Tuesday. So we hope you get your business taken care of, and we look forward to next Tuesday's delve into the obscura.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Really.
Thank you. And of course, the roundup. We always love the roundup. And remember, if you're joining Jambo Comics 200 subscriber, just remember, leave a comment on it and tell them Bub sent you. That's all you got to do. Just say I'm in. Bub sent me, and you get entered into that fine gentleman's drawing. Not
to mention that you do too.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about there. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, let me answer one more question in the chat. It's kind of important. Diecast Comics is asking. They used to not send those back along with pedigree certificates and any of that stuff, CGC used to not send them back because they would just use it to populate the information on the label, and then you get the slab, so you don't need the certificate. But now CGC will return anything to you along with the slab books that's not being slabbed. So if you send certificates in, or if they find a trading card in the poly bag or something, they will send all of that back to you, so you won't ever lose it. I think CBCS also does the same thing. They used to just throw that stuff out when you sent books in, but now they send back everything with the slabs to you.
Yes, but I must say this in all honesty. I have more than once received in my CGC package of return to books someone else's COA. That's happened twice in 2 separate occasions. So if it's something that they don't really need, don't send it. You can just as easily email that information along with your submission number if there's anything you think that they may miss. You don't need the official documentation sent in with it, and there is a chance you won't get that back just out of error. And they don't guarantee that you'll receive those materials back either. So, it's just one of those things. In a perfect world, you get them back. But in a perfect world, there's no Newton rings or scratches on my cases either. Just saying.
Yep.
So, all right, guys. We have done. So I have a package I just got in today, and it's with my new Comic Book Day books from this past Wednesday. They were floating around all over the country. They finally landed today. So I'll be probably have a haul maybe Wednesday. I'll probably film it tomorrow or Tuesday tomorrow's Tuesday. Yeah, I'll probably film it tomorrow morning or Wednesday morning and upload it. And that'll be it. So that's all I got. And I'm, never stop picking up books. So, all right, guys, let's see. We still got 23 people watching. You think we should give them something extra? I don't know. How about this one? There you go. We're trotting along. Thank you all for joining us. We would love to stick around and talk the rest of the night. We know everyone just has nothing better to do on a Monday night, or nothing they'd rather do, but then what? Oh, my. Roger, there's somebody here to see you, Roger.
That's my favorite one of the whole show every time, right there.
Are you available? All right, Roger. Well, Roger's got to go. He's got Liz at the door, so we're going to have to cut it short tonight, guys. Sorry about that. We'll catch you next week on the No Faces Comic Chat. Diaz wants to tell everybody do their homework. Roger wants to tell everybody be blessed and be back. And I want to tell everybody to read a comic and don't apologize for the glare. Catch you next week. Bye-bye.